Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bandit's Den. First order of business today, I would like to ask all vegans and people considering going vegan a question, something that will probably piss you off, which is kind of the aim of it. Thing is, anytime this subject comes up, people get upset about my stance, because even if I was considering dating, which I'm not, but even if I was considering dating, I absolutely would not consider a non-vegan chick as a candidate for dating. And I expect it to be just about the same for pretty much all vegans. I mean, like, my question is, if you're not racist, would you go and date white supremacists? Second order of business today is my good real-life friend, the guy who ultimately was the last thing I needed to inspire me to go vegan. He has an animal sanctuary, him and his girlfriend. They've got 10 acres out in the Sandia Mountains, and they have a GoFundMe account open. And their animal sanctuary has many cats and dogs. They also have a couple pigs, and they recently got a little cow in. This cow was used for children practicing roping calves. So she's got some scars that resulted from that and some trauma, I'm sure. And they were going to put her into the dairy industry, but my good friend and his girlfriend rescued her, and now she can go live the rest of her life happily and die of old age in their animal sanctuary. Now, of course, these two put a lot of their financial income, their own personal income, into the animal sanctuary. They're just asking for a, I think, small amount of money. So I'm going to go ahead and put the link to their GoFundMe in the description if anybody is interested in donating to an animal sanctuary that's ran by vegans. Anything helps, even a couple dollars. So, to continue on, the reason I wanted to make this video today is make a story. Tell you guys the story about the first time I had any sort of vegan-like thought. And this dates way back to when I was 8 or 9 years old. And the whole situation came to fruition thanks to, mostly thanks to Marilyn Manson and his music. I don't know if Marilyn Manson is a vegan or not. That would be cool if he is. I think he's a pretty smart guy. I enjoy his music still today. And he did recently come out with a new album. But let's get into the story. I forget what we were doing, but I was out at a bed and breakfast with my parents in the country somewhere on the East Coast, I believe. I think this may have been on our New York trip. It was exactly 3 months, almost to the hour before 9/11. I was on top of the World Trade Center with my parents and my brother. Now, we didn't take vacation very often, so I was one of the less privileged kids at the Catholic school I went to. So, there were some stints in time where we didn't take vacation for 3 or 4 years. And I would get all sad about it because my classmates would all go on, really expensive trips with their parents 2 or 3 times a year. And here I was stuck in Albuquerque the whole time. That aside, I'm pretty sure it was the New York trip. We were at a bed and breakfast, and they had some farm animals. They had like chickens and ducks, and they also had a cow that had recently given birth. Now, of course, I didn't know much about sex back then, so I wasn't questioning where the bull was that impregnated the cow. Where is daddy cow? Which I'm sure they artificially inseminated her in retrospect. But I didn't think about any of that when I was a kid. I thought cows just had babies. I thought there were some cows that just had babies for whatever reason, and then I thought there were cows that just made milk for whatever reason. I didn't think they were the same cow. And I didn't even think of what happens to the babies, right? Until this day, I was walking around. My parents, I don't know what they were doing. I was walking around by myself on the property, this bed and breakfast property, exploring. And, at night I could go outside and there were fireflies. We stayed at this bed and breakfast for a couple nights. So I'd catch fireflies and put them in a jar. And for I ended up taking the jar with us, and for a short while the fireflies lived and made light at night, which was cool. So during the day I was walking around this property exploring and looking at the animals and stuff, listening on my portable CD player. Yeah, this was back when portable CD players were this new thing that was just like so fucking awesome. Holy shit, you can walk around and just put a couple of AA batteries in this thing, and you can walk around and listen to music. It was just so amazing. So I was walking around with my portable CD player, thinking I'm all cool and stuff, listening to all the alternative rock of the time, Korn, Limp Bizkit, Tool, what else? Those guys that make the song, System of a Down, and Marilyn Manson. And a Marilyn Manson on my little pirated burnt CD. I pirated all of my music back then and burnt it onto CDs. On my burnt CD, my mixtape, I guess, Marilyn Manson came up while I was walking by the cow and the baby cow, the calf, right? They were in this big, I don't know, half-acre fenced-in lot. And they were chilling out, eating grass, and the baby would suckle on the mother every now and then. And I was listening to fucking Marilyn Manson, of all things. And it was, I forget what song it is, but you know how his music goes. It's all dark and grungy and angsty, and a lot of it is angry. So I'm watching this beautiful scene of a baby and a mother in a nice green pasture, the kind of thing that you people think of when you think of animal agriculture. Of course, this scene it couldn't be further from the truth of what these animals actually endure while they're being raised in a factory farm setting. And factory farms make up something like 98 or 99% of the meat, so very few people actually consume non-factory farm stuff. So very few people eat animals that were slaughtered after getting to live like this for 18 to 24 months. So I was watching, and I came to the realization, because of this angry, dark music that Marilyn Manson made, because I was listening to it, that the disconnect kind of connected. And I thought of, people hurting the baby cow while the mother watches. And I came to the realization that this is essentially what happens to get meat. Meat is where these animals come from. They're enjoying their peaceful existence right now, which at the time I didn't realize wasn't the case for almost all cows on Earth, at least in the Western world. They were enjoying their peaceful life, being peaceful. They weren't hurting anybody. And I knew eventually someone would probably come along and kill these two cows at some point in their lives and turn them into dog food, or turn them into a steak or ground beef. I came to this realization, and it made me sick. It made me sick to my stomach as a little 8 or 9 year old kid. I was pretty upset. I didn't talk to my parents about this at all, ever. I never even told them this story, or my brother who was with us. I didn't talk to anybody about this. I was just sick to my stomach. Well, after this scene, after this situation I found myself in with my mind and the environment and what I was listening to all coming together to bring me to a realization of where meat comes from, from abusing animals, essentially. Then we went out to KFC. And my favorite thing at the time was fried chicken livers. I loved fried chicken livers when I was a kid. I loved to eat organ meats when I was a kid. I was a weird little kid, all right? Organ meats were my favorite. I would get so upset on Thanksgiving when my parents forgot to save the heart of the turkey for me, because that, in my opinion, was the best part of the whole turkey, eating its heart, because it's so juicy and dense, and I don't know, dense in iron. I don't know what my body wanted out of it, but I just fucking loved heart and liver and all this other stuff, gizzards. So yeah, we went to KFC. I got my fried chicken livers, and I ate like 2 of them, and I couldn't eat anymore. I ate my French fries just fine, or whatever side I got at KFC, mashed potatoes, whatever. But I couldn't eat my chicken livers, because I came to the realization that these came out of a live chicken, a living chicken that was, in my mind, enjoying its time in the pasture and all this stuff, and all of a sudden this big mean man comes up and chops the chicken's head off. And I knew this food came from violence. And again, I told my parents I couldn't finish the chicken livers because I wasn't feeling too well. I didn't tell them everything that was going on in my mind, and this incident was kind of an isolated incident for a long time, But this, I was thinking about it while I was taking a shower, like, I was thinking back to all of the realizations I've come to all throughout my life, and I was trying to think of the first one, and pretty sure this is the first instance where I finally made the connection between animal agriculture and what's on my plate. And it deeply disturbed me. I had trouble eating animal products for a couple weeks after that. But kids are impressionable, right? And back then, it wasn't talked about, really, in households. I wasn't aware that you could choose to not eat these things when I was a kid. I wasn't aware that there were people that chose not to eat these things and were just fine and healthy. I didn't know about even vegetarianism or even pescatarianism. I didn't know about this stuff. I thought this is just how everybody eats and I just have to get used to it. And so I think that's why this was an isolated incident for so long. Because I wasn't aware that you didn't have to eat meat, that you didn't have to support animal agriculture in order to be healthy. And of course, I've been vegan for 399 days today. Tomorrow will be 400 days. And I only know this because I was looking at my calculator, COWCULATOR, calculator. It's an app on the Play Store, and it shows you how much you've saved since you first went vegan, since your date of veganism, going vegan. It shows you all the stuff you saved, especially including how many animal lives you've saved, because the average American eats or uses 1 animal a day on average. Me, I was higher than that. I was higher than average, because in one day I could eat almost a whole chicken and then go to the Chinese restaurant, the Chinese buffet, and eat like 10 baby octopus, 80 crawfish, and a couple of those snow crabs or whatever they have that they cook and fry whole, and you just eat the shell and everything. In addition to more chicken and all kinds of crap, So I think I was higher on average, because just one meal at the Chinese restaurant would easily take care of about 1/4 of the year for me if I was to limit myself to eating 1 animal a day. So I'm pretty sure, because I would go to those buffets all the time. I'm pretty sure I'm higher than that, but I just keep it at one animal a day just because that's the average American. Um, so yeah, I just know that because I looked at my calculator yesterday and it said 398 animals saved. I'm like, oh shit, Sunday will be 400 exactly. So I've been vegan for almost 400 days, and look at me. I don't look any different. The only people that would say I look different are being highly subjective just based on the fact that I'm vegan now. I don't look really any different, maybe a little bit more cut. It's hard for me to tell the difference really. So I do have a bathroom scale, and on a normal day I weigh about the same as what I used to. Sometimes I weigh more. My weight fluctuates pretty heavily. It always has. It'll fluctuate up to 5 pounds day by day if I look at it. So, some days I could be 5 pounds heavier than I used to be. Other days I could be just about the same as what I used to be. So, according to my scale, I haven't changed one bit, really. Maybe slightly heavier on some days. But physically, I don't notice in the mirror a whole lot of changes because it's over time, right? But I think from looking at past pictures of myself, I think I look a little bit more lean, a little bit more cut than I used to. But anyways, I'm glad you guys joined me for my story of how Marilyn Manson planted the seed of veganism in my mind. Pretty crazy the things that happen in life and things that can bring you to some realizations. So anyways, again, if you guys are so inclined, go ahead and donate to my friend's animal sanctuary. I'm sure him and his girlfriend would greatly appreciate it. And I most certainly would, because it's something I believe in, So, thanks for joining me, guys. Have a good day. I need to answer that text that I got because someone is coming over who I'm going to teach something to. And I hope I can give him a lot of knowledge on this subject. So, until next time, guys, peace for real, and later.